Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the powerful symbolic language of dreams. We're going to focus specifically on what it means from a biblical perspective when you dream of gold and jewels. If you have, you are definitely not alone. So many people have these really vivid, memorable dreams, and they can't help but wonder, could this be more than just random brain activity? Could it actually be a message from a higher power? It's a question that has roots deep in Scripture. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the biblical foundation for dreams as actual messages. Then I'm going to walk you through a really practical guide for interpretation. After that, we'll zoom in on the specific meaning of gold. Then we'll decode a few key jewels. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about how you can apply this to your own life. All right, first things first, let's lay the groundwork. This whole idea of God communicating through dreams and visions, it isn't new at all. In fact, the Bible is just filled with examples of it. Nearly a third of Scripture accounts or relates to a dream or a vision. Think about it. From the high priest's breastplate in the Old Testament, which was literally used to seek God's guidance, all the way to the incredible descriptions of the New Jerusalem in the New Testament, we see this form of divine communication has deep, deep roots. It was a dream that warned Joseph to take Mary and Jesus to Egypt, right? Okay, so how do we take this ancient practice and actually use it in our modern lives? Let's walk through a practical, step-by-step guide that really anyone can use to start understanding their own dreams. This 5-step process really transforms what might feel like a confusing, jumbled dream into a structured spiritual exercise. Now, journaling is so key. It helps you remember all those little details you might otherwise forget. And that last step is super important. If you're just an observer in the dream, it might be a call to pray for someone else. But if you're an active participant, the message is very likely for you. Now, let's really zero in on the most common and, honestly, the most significant precious metal in all of Scripture, gold. When gold shows up in a dream, it is very rarely about earthly wealth. With over 200 mentions, the Bible makes it crystal clear that gold carries some serious theological weight. It was used all over the Tabernacle and the Temple, the very places where God's presence dwelt with his people. And this verse from Job, it just perfectly captures one of gold's core meanings. You see, it's not just a metal, it's a metaphor for spiritual purification. The whole idea is that just as fire burns away all the impurities in gold, the trials and tests we go through can refine our faith, making it stronger, purer. So the crucial point here is that when you see gold in a dream, it's pointing to these much deeper spiritual realities. It might mean God's presence is with you, or it could be about the purity he's working on in you, or maybe it's just a reminder to focus on what lasts forever. It can also represent his provision, supplying exactly what you need to fulfill his calling. But, and this is a big but, there's a crucial detail. The condition of the gold matters just as much as its presence. So if the gold in your dream looks dull or dirty or even fake, that could be a warning. It's like an invitation to check your heart and your priorities, to make sure you're focused on heavenly treasures, not worldly ones. Okay, so it's not just about gold. Specific gemstones carry their own unique prophetic messages. Each and every stone can offer a different layer of insight into what God might be trying to say. Now, this is a vital principle in dream interpretation, so listen close. Every symbol, including a gemstone, is kind of like a coin with two sides. Its meaning can be positive, or it can be a warning. It's the context of the dream, the actions, how you felt, the other symbols. That's what helps you figure out the right interpretation. So let's take the emerald. Biblically, it's tied to the throne of God and his glory. So seeing one can signify his incredible mercy or a covenant promise he's made. But on the flip side, dreaming that you're wearing emeralds could be a little check on your heart, a warning against pride or thinking too highly of yourself. Then you've got the sapphire. This one often points toward the divine. It's described as being like the pavement under God's feet, so it can symbolize a heavenly connection. But seeing a broken sapphire? That could indicate a flaw in something foundational in your life, or maybe even a negative shift in your character. And finally, let's talk about the amethyst. This stone is all about royalty and our identity as what the Bible calls a royal priesthood, which means believers have a special standing and authority. A dream with an amethyst could be affirming that spiritual authority in you, but if it's broken or stolen, that can be a really serious warning of a spiritual attack, or that you might be surrendering the authority God has given you. Okay, so we've covered the biblical basis, we have a practical guide, and we've decoded the meaning of some specific symbols. Now let's bring it all home and talk about what this means for you, personally. At the end of the day, this is not just some academic exercise. The goal of interpreting your dreams isn't just to crack a code. It's to deepen your personal dialogue with God. It's a tool to draw you closer, to help you understand His heart for you in a more intimate way. By prayerfully using these tools, journaling, identifying the symbols, and seeking wisdom, you can start to tune into the messages He may be sending you in the night. It's really an invitation to a deeper awareness of His presence and His purpose for your life. So the only question left is, will you listen?